Big Ten basketball on CBS Sunday. Illinois at Ohio State. Illinois an 8 seed in CBS's Jerry Palm's latest bracketology, but the Fighting Illini on upset alert as the Buckeyes look for their first win in 56 days. First half, 14 to go. Ohio State up 1. Bryce Sensabaugh, the tough jumper, and that one's gonna roll in there. Ohio State up 3. 11 to play. Ohio State now up 6. Bryce Thornton through the lane, lays it in. Buckeyes up 8. Bruce Thornton, then he cuts in for the layup. Ohio State up 14. Under 2 to go in the first half, up 11. Thornton step back 3 here. That's going to be good. Thornton 13 points in the first half. Ohio State up 14. 30 seconds to go. Sensabaugh drives, lays it in, plus the foul. Sensabaugh 8 first half points. Ohio State goes into the half up by a dozen. Their first halftime lead since January 21st. Illinois coming back in the second. 15 to go, down 7. Terrence Shannon Jr. up the floor, lays it in. Illinois down 5. 10 to go, down 4. Off the miss, Michael Mayer gonna Euro his way through the lane and gets the deuce. Illinois down 2. Getting it close. Buckeyes would answer though. 6 to go. Ohio State's lead down to 1. Justice Suing misses, gets his own board, and puts it back and in. Ohio State back up 3. Next Buckeyes possession, Sensabaugh up the floor. The emphatic one-handed jam. Ohio State back up 5. Sensabaugh 14 points on the day. 4 to go. Ohio State now up 8. Thornton drives, spins, and finishes with the finger roll and 1. Ohio State up 11 after the free throw. Caps an 11-1 Buckeyes run. Under 3 to play. OSU putting it away. Suing spins through the defense, lays it in. 14 points, 11 rebounds. His first double-double of the season. Ohio State goes on to win it. 72-60. Snaps their 9-game losing streak. It's their first win since January the 21st. When they beat Iowa. It was their longest losing streak in 25 years. That is now over. Ohio State, plus 160 on the money line. They cover the spread, and the under hits. Kyle Boone picked Ohio State. They were plus 4.5 earlier today on HQ. He said he didn't like that 0.5, and so he took him a plus money there. After the game, OSU head coach Chris Holtman spoke with our Jay Wright.
My man, Chris Holtman, how good does it feel to stand up there and sing that alma mater today?
Oh, man, a lot better in the last few weeks, that's for sure, Jay. A lot better in the last few weeks.
What did you see today? What was the difference in your team today?
I thought our players made plays. I thought our freshman point guard was elite today. You know, you and I were talking about him after practice yesterday. I needed a coach's encouragement yesterday, that's for sure. But I just thought our players stepped up and made plays.
Where do you go from here with this group after this win today?
You know, Jay, I think the biggest thing is we have to play the right way for longer possessions. We're starting to do that. We really started to do it at the Purdue game. We just have to play the right way on both ends and trust that the results will come. We said that after the last game. You know, you don't know if it's going to be immediate, but you got to trust it, and I'm really proud of our guys.
Thanks, buddy. That was impressive today.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you.
Big win for Holtman and the Buckeyes as they improved to 4-14, but Illinois dropped to 10-8, a quad 1 loss for them. Jerry Palm projected Illinois as an 8 seed in bracketology entering the day. We'll see what happens with them. Bracketology updated on Monday. Now let's get a game recap from Tom McCarthy and Jay Wright.
Hey everybody, Tom McCarthy, Jay Wright here in Columbus, Ohio, where we saw a thriller in the Big Ten. Ohio State ended its 9-game losing streak with a victory over Illinois. That's a big-time win for Ohio State.
It was. That looked like a Chris Holtman team. That looked like a team that we played against when I was at Villanova in the NCAA tournament. Bruce Thornton as a leader at the point guard spot, 20 points today, was a killer.
Yeah, you talked about how important it was to get the ball in his hands. Let's show you how important it was.
He was so tough in the middle of the floor. He had mid-range pull-ups. He got to the rim and finished with authority. And they didn't have an answer for him. When they did, they came back with Shannon in the open floor, and he's one of the best. Epps drilled a 3. That was a call on a baseline out of bounds. But then Sensabaugh came back and answered. And this is how they finished the game. Thornton going to the rim and 1. Great way to finish with your leader.
Yes, Sensabaugh had 14. So did Suing for Ohio State. Points in the paint, huge for Ohio State.
Well, we talked about that earlier, right, Tom? That when Ohio State's good, they're driving the ball into the paint, getting to the foul line,
right,
getting to the rim, and they did it today.
72-60, the final score for Jay Wright. This is Tom McCarthy saying so long from Columbus, Ohio.
Yes, Sunday. Welcome into CBS Sports HQ. I'm Eric Casilius, and oh, baby, do we have ourselves an upset in the Big Ten. That's right. Here we go. Already getting toward the end of the year. Not quite to the Big Ten tournament yet, but you can see you got to be playing pretty well this time of year. Now, Illinois, last time out, was getting walloped by Northwestern and had a furious rally at the end to clip the Wildcats. Well, in this one, they got down 15 early. They were down double digits at halftime. They did cut it to 4 in the second half, but ultimately could not get over that hump at Value City in Columbus. So Ohio State was not had a great year. They do get the win, 72-60. They get you a win. They obviously covered. They were getting points. They cover on the money line. And you see the under comes in there. Pretty interesting game from a lot of different perspectives. So let's get my guy Kyle Boone in and find out what's what. Kyle, look, Ohio State did not and is not going to have the kind of year they want to have unless they do something crazy like win the Big Ten tournament and then find their ways into the dance. But what does this say about Illinois? Are you concerned at all, or is it just, hey, look, other than maybe Purdue at the top and Minnesota at the bottom, it's a pretty even conference, and a lot of teams win at home and lose on the road. Just look at Minnesota, who essentially wins every game. Maryland, who essentially wins every game at home and loses every game on the road.
EK, I'm disgusted. That was an absolutely grotesque performance by Illinois. Ohio State came into this game losing 14 of its last 15 games. Illinois goes on the road. Yes, they're playing in Columbus, but just an awful performance, really, from start to finish from Illinois. They showed some fight in the second half, got it within a couple possessions, but for the most part, Ohio State kind of controlled this game, and this is an Ohio State team that I think is the worst team in the Big Ten. They just did not have their stuff today, did Illinois. Terrence Shannon was off of his game. He fouled out with a few minutes left in the second half. Only had 2 points going into halftime and ended up finishing with 10 points. The guard play from Illinois was not very good. Ohio State dominated on the rebounding front. So there was a number of things working against Illinois. I'm ready to hit the panic button on this team. I think that we've seen enough from Illinois this season that I think we were allured by some big wins early in non-conference schedule, but I think they've shown kind of who they are, Illinois has, and I think Illinois might be a fraud. I'm going to be fading them everywhere I can in the NCAA tournament. I think they'll get in, but yeah, this is an ugly, alarming showing from what we saw against Ohio State today.
And you mentioned Terrence Shannon. Look, Terrence Shannon was a kid who everyone thought was going to Michigan, and then there was some snags in the academic process, and he ends up at Illinois, and what a difference it would have made in this conference this year if he had gone to Michigan as opposed to ending up at Illinois.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.